Hey everybody, it's Bill Kerbox, and we're here live today on Friday. We're really showing that the top agents really are willing to go to any level to be successful in this business. And today we're fortunate to have Kristina Cutchens of the Cutchens Luxury Group. I'm going to go ahead and record this. Hold on here. So today, Kristina will do a quick introduction, but Kristina wanted to give us kind of not the numbers, but the overall view of what's happening in Coral Gables, Coconut Grove in Miami. And I think it's very interesting. She has some very critical pieces. So if you don't mind, Kristina, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and talk to them about who you're with and what market area you work and a little bit about your style.
Of course, Bill. It's nice to be here with you. Me and my husband started a real estate company in Miami called Cutchens Luxury Group. For the most part, we're working in Coral Gables and Coconut Grove, which is very centrally located in Miami. So if you know where the Biltmore is, that would be where Coral Gables is. And there's a lot of properties in this area that are constantly being rebuilt. There's a ton of new construction. So it's really easy to get in the area, and it's good to work with someone that knows the area as well.
It's funny because I actually came to visit you guys. I was trying to get a feel for the South Florida market, and we went around and we looked and we actually walked some of this new construction. And there are some really great areas, especially, Coconut Grove, Coral Gables, they're like, yin and yang, they're both right there. What are you seeing? Are you seeing any condo projects or any building in Coral Gables going up? Anything that would give people an opportunity to have like a second home?
Absolutely. We just actually went to an open house at a property that they're about ready to start. They're supposed to break ground this month, and it has condos, it has townhouses, and then it has a couple of duplex style single family homes that come with pools. The prices in that neighborhood are going to be from 1.5 million up to 4.5 million. And there's only going to be 40 properties inside of the community. So it's very small. And they have a lot of community area within. So they have dog park area where you can walk your dogs, and they've got a community pool, and it's private, but still right in the center, in the heart of everything that goes on.
So how do you compare Coconut Grove to Coral Gables?
To me, Coconut Grove and Coral Gables are so similar. In fact, Lejeune runs right in between the two communities and splits it in half. So you can look at Coconut Grove and Coral Gables at the same exact time. They're both very family oriented. The main difference to me is that Coconut Grove is a little more business. So there's a lot of business buildings along the water where Coconut Grove runs. And Coral Gables, you don't have as much of the water, but it is available in small areas.
So you live in Coral Gables, don't you?
Yes.
And you have a daughter that goes to school there. So I'm going to put you on the spot. How's the school? How are the schools there? Is this a good place for someone to move?
As a prior educator, I can tell you that Miami is the place to be in Florida if you want your children to have a good education. There are a lot of charter schools down here, and there are a lot of private schools down here, and they always are within the top 10 in Florida for schools. So for instance, the school that my daughter goes to, True North, is within the top 5 elementary schools in the state of Florida. And I joke and call it a military school at times because they are very, very focused on their education, and they make sure that the kids learn as much as they can.
Yeah. Well, I know that I know your daughter's a priority, and I'm sure that school is good. How do you Do you spend much time in Coconut Grove? Do you travel there for any business? What is your feeling now comparing Coconut Grove to Coral Gables?
Well, I mean, absolutely. We're back and forth between the two communities all the time, looking at different properties, looking at new construction, going to open houses. So if you're looking for more of the neighborhood setting, I definitely say Coral Gables would be the place that you would want to be. And even though there are good schools in both neighborhoods,
Yeah.
I mean, either one is definitely a very fun, family-oriented place to be. You're not on Miami Beach. So if you have kids, it's definitely safe and it's a good community.
You know, as a realtor, I know the difference between a good realtor and a bad realtor. And, having had some experiences very recently, I can tell you that the average realtor out there, in many cases, just is not providing the service that I expect as a consumer. I know I want to kind of tell on you because when I came and visited you guys, I saw you guys out door knocking. I saw you delivering flyers. I saw you walking into new construction, going to open houses. Do you feel that you and your organization, you guys pride yourself? And I know it sounds like a loaded question, but do you really feel that you within Coral Gables, Coconut Grove, and Miami, you've got a really good pulse with what's happening in that market?
Absolutely. I mean, we're constantly out checking to see what's happening in the area. For instance, right now, I know that a third of the properties that are listed have reduced their prices in the last quarter. So it's a good time to look at buying a new house because everything's headed in the direction that the buyers are going to have a lot better opportunity than they did a year ago. Mm-hmm. And I feel like we're constantly out there checking for anything we can to help the people that we're working with know the area better.
So there's a lot of talk, a lot of doom and gloom, and I frankly, I don't buy into it. I think that there's a lot of opportunity, both as a real estate agent to build your business during this time, but also to make transactions happen. Have you had experience or have an understanding of like buyers paying cash versus getting loans, which would obviously change the dynamic? Are you seeing a lot of private money coming into the market, and is it coming in internet? Where's it coming from?
Well, Miami's such a different beast than everywhere else because it's a big melting pot where people internationally want to be. And so we have a lot of buyers that come in and they're cash only deals. And so the fact that things are changing isn't going to affect them because they're cash and they don't have to worry about anything increasing.
So I'm just going to throw one at you about Miami. I mean, let's go into Miami. We've been talking about kind of the suburbs. Who is the buyer? I mean, who goes to Miami? I mean, I was there not that long ago, and it's spicy. I mean, it's got a lot going on. Tell me a little bit about the traditional buyer who lives in Miami Beach right now.
Well, that's where, again, like I said, it's a melting pot. So there are a lot of people that think of Miami as their second home. So they might live up north, and then during the winter time, they want to be on the beach. They want to have the nice warm temperatures. So they have their vacation home here in Miami so that they get the best of both worlds. And then there's also a lot of business men and women that want to live in this area. They know that the schools are good and they have children. So they want to be able to have their children in those schools. And with everything shut down a couple of years ago, a lot of people learned how to use Zoom instead of having to always be in the office. So there's a lot of people that are now working from home that didn't have that opportunity before.
So on a fun note, when we were there together, it seems, does everybody in Miami have a damn speedboat? I mean, they're pretty popular. And before I even get to that, the other piece of that, when you and I were having lunch, there was a speedboat with 4 motors in front, and I went and checked them out, and the price per motor was $45,000. What's the deal with boats? I mean, are they as popular as that looks when you're on the intercoastal there? You see a lot of people coming for boating, fishing, trolling.
Absolutely. I mean, Miami's known for the beaches, Miami's known for the water, and with the water comes the boats. And so like the restaurant that we were sitting at, American Social, we can watch the boats just come through, and a lot of people will rent a boat for a day, and then they can take the group that they have with them out on the boat. And then a lot of people own their boats. And so you'll see a lot of marinas around and a lot of people just out on the water, either scuba diving or fishing, or, I mean, there's a huge variety of people that like to be out on the water here, but it is extremely popular.
I recently heard, and I'm going to put you way on the spot, and we're talking about safety, right? Is Miami a safe place? And I heard the mayor talking, and I was absolutely impressed. I mean, he really had a spin, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but he had an understanding of the current environment and his policies. What's the kind of the word on the street is Miami safe for you, your family?
Absolutely. I mean, Miami is just like anywhere else. There can be bad things that happen, unfortunately, anywhere. And when they do, they like to highlight them and put them out there. And so it gives the appearance that things aren't safe. But just like everywhere else, there are areas that are completely safe that I will take my daughter to with no problem, with no worries. So it's just a matter of being in the right locations and making sure that you're not going to those neighborhoods that you know are not safe.
Well, we appreciate this. So I feel that we've covered, the fancy suburbs. I know that Miami right now has a $150 million listing on LaGorche Circle. And I know recently you sent me over a video that you did for 101 million. It just broke the 100 million. Do you guys specialize in the luxury, or you'll handle across the board?
We'll handle across the board, but we do specialize in the luxury because we make sure that we are the most familiar with the luxury and what those clients are looking for. So that way we can look into not only the areas, but the stuff that's being used within the home and the companies that are working on the homes.
Well, I appreciate you coming out on Friday today, right after Thanksgiving. I know a lot of people are still napping and all that, but tell us what company you're with and where they can reach you.
So my name is Kristina Cutchens, and I'm with Cutchens Luxury Group. And the easiest way to reach me is my cell phone. So it's 813-309-5550. Are
you with DXP?
I am.
All right. Hey, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. And Kristina, have a great weekend, and we'll see you all on the other side. Thanks.